Hello, Anna. I'm
Uh,
talking to you tonight because you are one of the people who have been protesting in Bucharest for a week now, or even more, against the government's decision.
Almost a week, yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to talk to a few people because the international media, such as The Guardian here in the UK, they do report on what's happening now in Romania. And I think the people who go out in the street every day, you can tell us really more about it. So what is happening in Romania nowadays? Why do people go and protest in the streets every day, tens of thousands?
Yeah. Well, for like a week ago, the government adopted an emergency ordinance in the middle of the night. Well, it wasn't the middle of the night, it was only 10 o'clock in the night. Although it was strong, they had a lot of disapproval from the people, and it was an ordinance that said that conflict of interests and abuse of office were kind of decriminalized, and people were very mad about it because they felt like the fight against corruption just takes like a lot of steps back with this thing. And they were very mad also because the government did this in the night without announcing that they will discuss about it in that session. It was just a session. They said we're going to talk about the budget, and the Minister of Finance will give statements to the press afterwards. But then it was 10 o'clock in the evening, and instead of the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Justice came and told the press that, hey, we just passed these laws, and yeah, that's it. And people were very angry and, well, started to protest.
Yes. Uh, so actually, they passed an emergency ordinance, which you would wonder why was it needed as an emergency piece of law. That's what I've also read on Facebook.
Yeah, just they didn't have any justification for it because it's true that they had to make some changes in the how's that called in the penal law or something,
Okay.
but they they used that as an excuse. But it wasn't that urgent. They could have just passed it as an ordinary law through the parliament, and that was one of the reasons people felt it's just it's sneaky. They want to do something else with this. They just want to help their corrupt friends and politicians escape the law. Actually,
Yes, get away with it. Anna, you've been out in the Victory, is it the Victory Square where people gather
yeah.
usually? You've been out there for most of the evenings. How did it feel to be there? One of the evenings, I know there were some
Violence, yeah.
violence, but most of the people left. But generally, how did it feel to be there?
Well, in the first night, people were extremely angry. They just get out of their homes and took the last metro to get in the square, and they gathered really spontaneously. They were really, really, really angry. But everybody said we shouldn't be violent, so we should try to protest in a peaceful way and be
Civilized.
civilized. And well, I didn't actually expect people to gather in that night because it was really late in the evening, and everybody was working the second day. But
Did you
they did.
mention it was like 11 o'clock? Because we talked
It,
before.
it was like 10 or 10:30 when the minister gave the statements. But in the first minutes after it, people couldn't believe it. They just thought it's rumors. Everybody was trying to find out what's happening, what's actually happening. Is it too late? If the ordinance passed, does it mean that the law is now valid, or will it well, it was a discussion that after the ordinance will pass, it will become valid in the first minute, and that we can do anything about it. But then we found out later that night that we have 10 days until it actually becomes valid. And then people began to feel more motivated. And in the second day, it was, wow, there were so many people. It was full. Nothing was actually, the cars couldn't pass the center of the city. It was like the revolution again. And then it was a night where there were violences, but it was after 11 o'clock when the most of the people already left for their homes, and I was still in the square when they started, and I told my friends, let's go home. This is not what we came for. And we went home, and we started to get messages, get out of there. Some football galleries came and just started to fight the gendarmerie, and
like the riot police in Romania.
Yeah, it was a lot. There were also a lot of conspirations and theories afterwards, who paid them, who put them. But I think that doesn't really matter for the protest, because people were there to protest peacefully, and it was the only incident.
That's I think that's also telling a lot, that it happened one night without any real harm, really. I mean, there wasn't a lot coming out of it, so it just stopped.
We were there for like 6 or 7 nights, plus two other days when we protested before the ordinance to be passed, and it was only one night at the end of the night when it happened. So I think that just tells it all.
How did it feel for the rest of the evenings? I saw some photos from the square, which really look stunning.
Yeah. Well, I think that people were angry in the beginning, but then when they saw that so many of them, or actually so many of us, we are there and we are fighting for the same reason, and that we have the support of the president and of a lot of universities and of the European Union, I think we just felt much more motivated and very hopeful that we can change something together. And in the end, we did, because yesterday they cancelled this ordinance. And now, yesterday evening, after the ordinance was cancelled, people gathered in the streets to ask for a new government, so that one that we can trust. It doesn't matter if it's from the same party, because they did won the elections and they do have the right to govern, but with other people that we can just trust.
Yes.
More than this one.
Yes. What I've seen on Facebook is as well a lot of people saying maybe now it's the time and it's a chance for this party, the Social Democratic Party in Romania, to reform itself and to bring other people forward and make real changes. I want to ask you, Anna, what are your expectations out of everything that's happened now?
from the protest. Yeah.
Yes.
I really hope that they can change and bring competent and good people. I'm not sure that they can do that as a party, but maybe other politicians from other parties can do it. I hope that we will have a future without this corruption and so much bureaucracy and bribes and everything like this, because when you're young and you want to do a lot of things, you go really hopeful to the authorities, and it's just like a wall before you. It's just so much bureaucracy, and you can't do anything if you don't know somebody or you don't have money to give them something. And I hope it's the end of it and we can start a normal life. I don't know, with dignity.
I think even your cat approves of that. She seems, or he seems to want to take part as well.
She's a little bit angry because she was many evenings alone at home, and yeah, she hates them too. She wants this to end and to, yeah.
Thank you very much.